All right, no, we weren't saying much of anything. It wasn't for like public consumption. But hey, Rye, and welcome back to another episode of the Anime4ALL podcast, where we talk about Frieren Beyond Journey's End for like 30 minutes to an hour. Gonna probably try to keep it to an hour. But this episode was interesting. It was basically the start of the next trial that they're gonna have to do, which is I think her name was Zensi, giving them Zenza giving them the next like trial, which is a labyrinth, and they need to get to the bottom of it to pass the exam. I guess also we could talk about really quick when she brought up that she was a pacifist. I had to look that word up last week just to make sure I didn't say anything. When I was looking up. I just wanted to look it up. I was like, okay, now it makes more sense. She doesn't like violence. But that doesn't mean she won't be cruel. Apparently, she also says
she's certainly putting them in a violent scenario.
I mean, I don't think that's what she was saying, that she wouldn't put them in a situation that could probably threaten their lives. I just think she didn't like fighting. You know, it wasn't like she didn't want to like physically get in an altercation, and she believed
with like gargoyles, for example.
Well, that wasn't her. That was the labyrinth.
She knew full well they were there.
I mean, but that's not her like fighting. There's a.
I know, but it's sort of like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But yeah,
she still is a pacifist. She hasn't fought. So like regardless of what's going on in the labyrinth, she hasn't done anything.
Well, isn't she so sweet and innocent?
No, she's not. But like, I like her. You know, it's one of those things. Like I as she was going through the labyrinth with Fern and Frieren, I was like, oh, I like her. It's interesting because like it's a like of like, she's interesting. I want to know a little bit more about her. We're probably not gonna know anything about her, but she seems interesting in one of the like the oddest ways for me with this show, because most characters that you find interesting in this show like have a personality quirk. She kind of does, but at the same time doesn't. She seems kind of like flat, but I think flat on purpose.
She's definitely like, maybe the word I'd use is serene.
Huh?
Maybe serene.
I think you're saying serene, but for whatever reason, the mic is like lowering the volume. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, serene, I don't know what the definition of that word is, just for my own. Calm, peaceful, untroubled. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Although I think the potential for her to be something much more dangerous is in there somewhere, but so far she's being very certain.
I mean, there's like she's a pacifist, but that doesn't mean she won't fight. I just think for the most part she doesn't enjoy it, unlike most of the other wizards that we've seen in this show, which I will say is interesting. For a show that is about kind of magic, I've never seen so many bloodthirsty mages in my freaking life. So let's take that back. I haven't seen that many bloodthirsty mages like in one show that kind of just flat out don't have any problem killing folk. Because for the most part, mages don't act like that. So seeing it here was more interesting than anything else. But yeah, I like her. What I do like about her too is like, she literally, before she tells them to go in there into the maze, she gives them all like break of a case of emergency golems.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, one of them has to break it almost immediately, but I mean, I guess that was to be expected because they wanted to show you what it looks like when that you do break those things. Sucks that one of the girls, I guess like at the same time, it's like she doesn't want to see anybody die, and that's why she gave them to them. I'm actually kind of curious what kind of magic she excels at, because based off the way her hair moved, I literally said animation magic. It's like, it's the only thing that would make sense for her, for why her hair moved the way it did when she handed them the golems in the bottle. But I'm guessing at some point we're going to see her use magic, but just not right now. But Like she tells them the rules, and she wants them to get down to the bottom of the.
I think like she's like they're prototypes, but they should work, and these people's like lives are on the line. Okay, I guess I'll just count on this prototype to save my life.
Well, I mean, the prototype doesn't seem like much of a prototype.
Well, the one you have to remember that one was fine, but the next one would be like.
Are you saying that some of these might not work?
I'm saying that it's not guaranteed that they're all going to work exactly the same way.
I mean, I would hope that they all work because, like, I believe her when she says she doesn't want anybody to die.
I do too, but like I said, but why would they say prototype if they weren't trying to add a little spice to the story? You know,
I don't want none of these to fail, though.
I think they at least want us to wonder if prototype means anything. You know.
I hear you, but I don't want any of them to fail because, like,
we're not supposed to want them to fail. I think that was the idea, like, to add a little bit of danger to what's going on.
I don't know. I feel like at near the end of the episode there was a lot more danger, but whatever. But yeah, she gives them the prototypes and then tells them to get down to the bottom of this labyrinth before the end of the day or the start of the next day. Or if you don't, the golems will automatically break out of their vials and carry you all out, which is interesting. Guess it makes sense. Like, doesn't really get them out of there. And she says all that they're allowed to go into the labyrinth, but they all kind of hang around outside, just like looking at each other. I guess not trusting each other. And then Dingen obviously kind of just says, like, you know, we all should like team up and get down there in greater numbers, which makes sense. But at the same time, it's like, well, they all went at each other's throats like a few days ago. To me, it's like I honestly, if I was them, I wouldn't trust any one of them either, unless it was the person I was teamed up with. And even somebody says like too, like they probably heard you when you were talking about everybody in the forest. I was like, I wonder how many people actually heard him say half the things he said. I'm actually kind of curious about that. But like basically Frieren and Fern go inside the labyrinth together. Well, how you pronounce her name again?
Zenza?
Zenza decides to go with them because she thinks they'd be interesting.
Or is this? How do you spell it again?
S-E-N
Zazie or something like that?
S-E.
Yeah, Zenza.
Zenza decides to follow Fern and Frieren because she thinks that they'd be the most interesting. I guess funnily enough that she was right. Probably not in the way that she was anticipating though. Then like a rando decides to go into the thing by himself and everybody else. And then crap, I always forget these two's name. Kana and her friend go in next. And then everybody else kind of goes in like a few like moments later, with Dingen sitting outside with his group and then two other girls. And they all progress into the labyrinth as a 5-man cell. Later becomes 4. Mainly because Spear brought it up earlier. They get to a level and then they encounter gargoyle traps, and one of the gargoyles sends the little girl, purple hair girl, into a room by herself with a wall that can't be destroyed as easily. And then there's a trap in there that's gonna kill her. So he basically just tells her like, you had no choice but to break the vial, and then the vial breaks open. The thing protects her and then carries her like a sack of potatoes while using the running man pose to get her out of there. And I just sat there saying, man, that's disappointing. It was like, well, I guess
I did think it was like an interesting statement on the power levels going on here, that that this construct just kind of smashed through like it was no big deal. I thought that was significant. That just went, and it was like pow, 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 and like stormed off, and everybody's like, well, that happened. Given that, like, Dingen, who's I would probably put in the top 4 or 5 most powerful of this group, of taking the test, gave it a really good shot. And it's like, wow, not a scratch. And like this thing just burst through.
I hear you. So I was just trying to make sure my headphones are not doing anything creepy. All right. Might just be me. All right. Let's see. Yeah, but yeah, the little girl gets taken out, which was, I guess, disappointing, but I guess to be expected. Like I was like, I was kind of paying attention to her a little bit because like back when they were all separated, she was kind of like, she was like the way she was like talking to one of the tall women with the blonde hair. It looked like a little girl, like maybe like 11 or 12, like asking an adult for help or something like that. At least what it looked like, because there was an image of her pointing in a direction, looking up at her, and I don't remember what the I don't remember what the situation was or whatever when I saw it, but it was an odd image, and then she ends up getting taken out first. But oh well, I guess.
Yeah, you know what's disappointing to me about that was that it was predictable. Like when I saw that, I was like, really, like she seems so obviously the weakest of the group, and I guess sometimes the weakest of the group is the first to go. But when I watched it, I was like, well, she's like a little slip of a girl. Like there must be something to her, you know. Given that she seems a little puny, you know what I mean? Like this, it seemed like it was set up for a surprise or at least an interesting story. But she just kind of, the first time a shot came her way, she was like, ah, and then she left, you know. And I wanted to be surprised. I wanted her to do a little bit better than that, like a little to make the place feel a little bit unpredictable. You know?
I mean, yeah, I was expecting something super powerful to come out of her wand, but apparently she was too afraid or too meek to do anything. But I guess also shows that like it, like the first test was a bunch of luck, based on the fact that she got there.
Well, she could have just been on a good team and coasted, you know. I
mean, that's what I was saying. Luck, you know, she got lucky.
Yeah, yeah. There was definitely a little bit of luck playing into it in general, anyway. So.
But you know, now Dingen has a 4-man cell, and they decided to progress further into there. Then we go to, well, I want to say Wilbur. That is not his name. The name of the dude who Warble, yeah, Warble and his crew are like, we see them walking around, and we see them get into a confrontation with another mage. Well, it looked like a mage based on the spell that happened to come his way, but apparently it was a they called it a replica. I think is what they called it. Like a replica apparently is like the secret of this place. Like I guess like he says like no wonder people can't explore this place and come out alive. I think it's the words he used of like, oh, this explains it. And I'm like, there are replicas in here? They're not clones? Like, okay, there must be a difference. But we see that the replicas are really powerful and they're capable of using the same spells that they are. So we see that Warble and his crew have to deal with them now. The replicas have to fight them. I think they actually take them down. I could be wrong, but I think they take them down. And then we flip over to we follow Frieren and Fern and Zenza as they're traveling, and you know we see that Frieren's are good at navigating this maze, which is ironic. There's a point in this maze that she does something that I just kind of, like I said, ironic. It was just a shocking surprise to me. I didn't think she had good direction.
But I didn't think she was that organized of a thinker. That's what threw me off about that. Oh wow, you can be structured.
I mean, but what I find most interesting, and it was kind of funny, and I kind of chuckled a little bit when this happened. And you probably caught it when you probably got this, but there was a point when she pretty much caught on to the right path to get them out of there, and then she says, "I'm gonna go the other direction and get the other treasure in this place." I just found that funny because that was game logic. That was game logic.
She does everything the way Himmel teaches her to do it.
But that was also game logic. That's how people play. Logic, yeah. How people play video games. It's actually a freaking habit that I had to develop playing some games. I'm like, I just found it funny because I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. You don't go down the path of least resistance until you get everything else. But I just found that kind of funny. And then it was even Fern even wondering why Frieren likes these like trinkets so much, and even Zenza kind of asks like, "Oh, I don't get it," but she was asking it actually towards Fern of like why, like another instance of somebody calling Fern's BS out of like how powerful she is, and it doesn't seem like either one she knows how powerful she is, or two she doesn't seem to have a lot of spark or energy. And even Fern says that, like, yeah, well, I spent a lot of my passion paying back a debt, and now, like, I guess because of that, now I don't have that passion anymore. But she travels with Frieren because she likes seeing her happy, which gives her a smile. That was cute in an interesting way. I was like, oh, that's.
And then Zenza kind of gets it, and then Zenza smiles too, which I thought was interesting.
H does smile too. Yeah. When they had that little talk, and then Fern's like, "Well, okay, we best like keep moving. This is a nice break." But I guess also a reminder, like, yeah, they are on a time limit. Though they with the Proctor too, so the Proctor might have just extended the time period. Who really knows?
I think that the other thing about that because we talked about a couple of the things that revealed about Fern. I think another one was that like Fern didn't feel threatened at all about what's going on. Like everybody else was like, "Oh my god, we gotta stick together. Like we gotta go for this, and watch out for traps and stuff like that." And she's more like, "Hey, like, could you not step in that trap? Please be a little more careful." And the person, was it Zenza or Fern that hadn't noticed the trap? Because I thought it was Zenza.
Now, Zenza almost stepped on the trap, but it was Frieren that stopped her.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. But like, so she just kind of like very low key upclassed her a little bit there, Like she's like, "Hey, could you, you said you weren't going to drag us down, so could you go ahead and not drag us down?" You know what I mean? Like, we can't be having you step on traps and cause problems for us. So hang out with us.
A part of me thinks that Zenza did that on purpose. I think she wanted I think she wanted to see like if they were aware of there being booby traps in here or not. Because it doesn't, to me, and this is just my thought process, at least on Zenza specifically, she's a Proctor, so she's got some skill and she's got some awareness, she's got some wherewithal. She should know how this like place is laid out, I would think.
Well, I don't think anyone's really been to the bottom. I think that was part of the problem. They said, like, they established that like no one's been to the bottom of this thing.
That they're aware of, but a part of me, I'm going to say this is probably wrong, but I'm just going to say it anyway. A part of me thinks that Zenza's been down there, and like she maybe just went down there to check things out to see if there was anything to be worried about.
You can say that, but like Aaron has found a lot of treasure in there.
Yeah, I'm not saying that Zenza was down there looking for treasure. At least she was just down there to look for anything. It was anything to be worried about, or two, she set her own traps. Because another thing I wanted, and I just thought about this just now, was like, I'm telling you right now, I really think that Zenza's magic is reanimation. Mainly because of the golems. And now you brought up the fact that there was probably a point to them saying that she's saying that they are prototypes. I'm willing to bet the replicas are her doing. I think she set them up.
What do you mean? Oh, somebody's casting them, but it seems it would be surprising if it was Zenza, given that she's just chilling with the others.
Yeah, that is like the replicas do their own work. They do their own fighting. She doesn't need to do anything because like she made the golem, and then the golem.
Fair point.
The golem.
It's a fair point. Go ahead.
So the golem reanimated and moved on his own. It wasn't like she said anything. I think honestly, her ability, her magic is reanimation, because like she moved her hair in a way that no one else in the show has done at this point. And it would make a lot of sense if that's actually how she's doing it. She's animating her hair, and she would animate that wood doll. It's the same thing, bringing it to life. It's not like a real life, but it's still like making it act as if it's alive, and that's what reanimation does. And we haven't seen like anything beyond necromancers in the show. I don't think she's a necromancer. I don't think she can give inanimate objects life. Like if anything, I think she's a reanimator mage. Like she's capable of causing things to move on their own. And that's like saying, I'm not saying 100% that she's responsible for the replicas, but I would not be surprised if the replicas are just a more perfected version of the golem, and she just said prototype, like you said, to throw people off. You know, maybe they wouldn't think at first that it was her.
So the story then is she doesn't condone violence. So she's sending them into, and this is not me saying you're wrong, by the way. She doesn't condone violence, and she's a pacifist. So instead of violence, she sent them into this place alone to fight replicas of themselves instead of each other.
When you say it like that, it sounds silly, but yes.
But it's the most Japanese thing I've heard in a long time, because I agree that that's possibly the case.
I only just thought about this now as a possibility, but to me it's like they bring up that these replicas are like way too perfect, and the thing is too, like, are we really supposed to believe that there's a mage down there making replicas of people they haven't seen?
Well, if they're making them on the fly, but you made such a good point about the fact that she's made replicas, so she's kind of revealed her hand. Like, there's some reason I didn't connect those dots, but those are very good dots to connect.
I mean, I only just thought about those connections just now as I was talking and thinking about her and how much I do like her character. But I'm saying, to me, it's like, because I was thinking at first, and I literally was thinking as it was happening, why is her hair the thing that's moving around? She's got hands, and she can float.
Yeah.
Like, it's clear that she's capable of moving on her own. That's what I was saying. Like, to me, it's like, while her being a pacifist might just be the biggest crock of BS we've seen, if she is the one doing this. But I feel like in her mind, she's able to rationalize being her calling herself a pacifist because she isn't the one actually doing anything. It's her minions.
She is. She's crazy.
It's her minions. It's her minions.
She made the minions.
Yeah, but in her
she
mind,
made the minions. Personally made the minions.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. That's what I'm saying. I know it's the biggest crock of BS. If she is in fact the responsible for this, but at the same time, she can rationalize in her brain, and I can see it. Of like, I'm not the one. I'm a pacifist because I'm not the one actually doing anything. These people, that these things I'm creating, are their own people. They're their own being. They're able to act on their own. Like, in her mind, she's able to rationalize in her brain that, like, I'm not the one doing it, so I'm not the one actually fighting. These things I'm creating are doing the fighting. And on top of that, you saying they're alone? Not really. She sent them in there with golem ejection buttons. So
yeah,
it's like she's technically, they're not in there alone. Technically they are. She's not really fighting. Technically she is. If her magic is reanimation, like, I'm almost 100% positive it is. Because it would also make a lot of sense if it is, and she's not using it because she doesn't want Frieren to catch on too quickly. It's like, but yeah, like, she's traveling with him in there, and then we jump back to Dingen, who, like, after we see Warble fighting replicas, like, Dingen and his group actually find themselves and go through a door, and then there's this floating replica in the air. And at first I was like, who the heck is this gonna be? And I wasn't anticipating it to be in a Frieren replica. But I find it kind of funny that Dingen finds himself face to face with Frieren again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now he's got a chance to redeem himself. Like, I don't know if he's gonna be able to, because, like, I would say, to me, that's got to be the worst match to have, is to fight Frieren. But I thought about something else too, and again, it's one of those things that was kind of just brought up slyly, and you wouldn't think too much about it. Zinza said that she could tell that Fern was a really powerful mage. Like, she could just sense that about her. It's just kind of interesting that that'd be brought up again, because they do bring up constantly that how powerful Fern is. Even Frieren says so too. But, like, I don't know why they keep bringing it up as, like, okay, why are they keeping us reminded that Fern's, you know, we know that Fern's not a pushover. It just seems kind of interesting. I'm actually kind of curious if maybe the replica that Frieren and Fern find themselves fighting is Fern.
What do you mean by is Fern?
Like the replica that they find the replica that they find that Frieren and Fern find is of her of Fern, because the Frieren replica is dealing with Dingen right now, which is odd that it's out there. It's over there with them versus the Frieren replica fighting Frieren. And we
Yeah.
don't know where the Fern replica is because there's got to be one. Uh, it just seems like to me it's like, okay, maybe this makes a lot of sense. Maybe Frieren fights the replica of our student, and when we find out how powerful she actually is through the replica, because according to Warble or whoever said it or Dingen, like these replicas are really they're almost indistinguishable from humans. The only thing that's like making them distinguishable is the fact that they don't got color, like they're lacking color. Like they apparently got their personality and everything down packed inside them, which is even weirder that they bring that up too. So like, it'd be interesting, like if maybe they deal with a Fern replica, and maybe the Fern replica looks like Fern, so we have to deal with the whole Frieren has to figure out who's the real one. I mean, it'd be dumb, but I'd say that'd be funny. We had to see if Frieren can tell which is her student, which isn't.
I Fern will know.
You can say that, but we don't really know that. I want to
I, I
believe.
would
I want to
I would
believe.
throw my money on that one.
I wouldn't put any money on that, but I want to believe. But that's just a theory I got, because like, but so far we've seen replicas of just about almost everybody. There's only one replica we haven't seen, technically two, if you count Zinza as a person that's possible to have a replica made of. And weirdly enough, we haven't seen one yet, which is even more funny to me. Makes me kind of curious. Like, what if the thing that's following them isn't actually her into replica? That'd be the funniest thing ever. It's like, oh, I'm not really here. This is a copy I've made. What?
Oh, that would be
Poof.
wild.
It's like it would make a lot of sense, and that's like it. You know, it really would.
Make wonderful sense.
Like, I'm just like something about it is like, to me it's like I swear she's got to have the reanimation magic. I think that's got to be what it is. That's her specialty. But again, I had no proof of that. I'm just kind of basing it off of feels. But that's just my thought process on her. But I think that's about it for on my part of this episode. If I skipped over anything, I'm pretty sure you'll pick it up in your notes.
Let me see. I didn't take notes this week.
Oh.
Not really, anyway. Let me flip through for a second because I did have thoughts. I just didn't have notes. Let's see. What did you think about Denkin, the strategist, and his and how he handled this specific situation?
Yeah, I think he handled it the best way he could. I mean, the little girl being taken out, I feel like that's like kind of like a blotch on his record. But at the same time, I I can kind of forgive that, because I'm pretty sure what she was there for was just to show us that the replicas work. Because I think honestly, if he was really being a really keen strategist, he probably would have asked the type of magic that those two specialize in, so he can make good use of them.
I think that he means well. I think that he wants everybody to pass this test if possible. I think that he's not planning on using them as pawns. I think that he might openly at some point say, like ultimately, like, we're all in this for ourselves, but he's not going to deliberately use anybody as pawns. But if he, like, perhaps he, like, for example, perhaps he could have blasted that door open if he used all his mana. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he's going to take an L to save someone else, but I think he's going to try very hard to, like, get everybody to do if he can. But I really appreciate him as sort of like a eternal, like, fatherly figure that, like, seems to be very interested in like doing well for everybody. I think it's been really well handled as far as that goes, and I love watching him work. Like I love like watching him in action and trying to figure out like what he's doing with different situations. So I've really been enjoying that part of it.
I mean, there's one thing I can say about him. I'm waiting for him to show us actually how powerful he is. Because I am on.
I think we've honestly think that we've seen how powerful he is. I don't think his power.
I don't think we have.
I think we have because we've seen him run out of mana.
Yeah, but that doesn't running out of mana doesn't necessarily mean that that's your extent of strength. It's like maybe he just utilized spells or that were just like mana consuming. Is one of those things. I feel like maybe he's a lot more not conservative, but he's a lot more aware of his mana pools. And it's possible too he could have been lying. You never really know. A part of the whole thing is that
no, I don't think he's lying. Because like why would he have lied?
Why would he tell the truth?
About running out of mana? Because he was in a cooperative situation where he needed everybody to get through, and when he ran out of mana, he had to take his fists out and fight as an older man against a much younger man to get through that situation.
I don't know. I feel like, I mean, it may not be strength, but I feel like he's got a lot more. I don't know. It just feels like to me it's like they're building him up as this character that I kind of like to see a little more of. But at the same time, I really think he's hiding something. Like I don't think he's got that old man vibe of like I got secrets underneath this beard, and I'm not gonna let you know about them until like it's absolutely necessary. That's the vibe he gives me. It's like I feel like, because like on top of that, he's apparently supposed to be somebody of high high acclaim, or he's not like a lower or middle tier mage from the way they talked about him and his place in the world. So it's like, to me, it's like, okay, and they even say like, why do you even want this classification? Almost as if he doesn't need it. So it's like to me, it's like, I don't know. That just seems like maybe they're shining me on maybe with that, but it seems kind of weird. Like why constantly hammer into me that he doesn't necessarily need this. We know why he wants it, but that's a different thing. Like why, like you know why he wants it, but he doesn't need it. Something just strikes me about that is like why doesn't he need it? Does he already have something on the same level as it or better?
He doesn't need it because he straight doesn't need it. Like he doesn't need it because he wants it to go see a grave. It's just something he wants to do.
But something about it just strikes me because they're saying that he doesn't necessarily need to be here, not as in like this isn't something like it seems like there's more meaning behind it than simply it's not something it's a required of him. Even beyond like they were making a big deal. Only so many people know why he wants it, but I was like they were making a big deal about him being here. Like he doesn't need to be here. He's a prime minister. We already called him before, but it's like I don't know. I'm just believing. I think there's a lot more to this old man right now, and I don't think we've seen it all.
I think he's full of tricks, and I think that he's not a pushover by any means. And I think that he and he's not full of tricks. He's not a pushover by any means, and I think that we're going to continue to be surprised and impressed by what he can do. But I don't think that pure power is going to be the thing that we end up feeling impressed by.
I want to agree with you, but at the same time, a part of me is just like I really, really want to just hold on to this dream until it gets shattered, just for a little bit longer. I'm not saying he's as powerful as Frieren. There's no way, heck no. But I just feel like he's stronger than he's letting on. And I know he's got tricks. I mean, the guy's an old man, but at the same time, it's just. Though I feel like him being an old man might be a little bit pushing it, because usually old men have like gray hair. He doesn't seem to have it. Unless it's gray hair that I haven't seen yet. What?
I think it's safe to say he's past his prime.
Yeah, calling him old though, I don't know. I'm only calling him old because that's what they're referring to him as, old man. But like, I don't know. I was like, I would be more willing to call him old if he had gray hair somewhere on him, and maybe he does. Maybe he's using this world's version of
Yeah, that's it. He's
aging.
he's taking like Vitalis and hair implants. Yeah, I think you're onto something. Do you hang up the phone now?
No, I'm just shutting up. Like, I feel sarcasm, and I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. Just like,
Just joke around. I like antagonizing you gently and friendly way. That's just a little friendly antagonism. Okay. Anyway, I also thought the reasons that people didn't join Denkin were interesting. Some of them didn't join him because they didn't think they needed to. I think that that one group with Warble didn't join because I think he personally believed that um, they were going to get more done if they didn't join. Like, I think he thought that a small, compact group would be better. And you know what I mean? I think he thought he was good enough to do that. I think Frieren didn't join because she just thought they were plenty. You know, I think that Frieren just was pure, not worried about the situation whatsoever. Um, I think that the one that got eliminated first joined because she had no choice, but I think that several of the other ones joined because they thought it was the right choice for them. What do you think? Like, I just thought it was interesting the way they all broke up and parted ways. Like, I think
I
that
mean, it was the thing they don't trust each other. I think that's really ultimately what it comes down to. It's nothing really that like too much to think about. I will say some of them maybe had those exact reasons for you for what they you just did, even Werewolf for that matter. I will say, what do you think of that girl that went off on her own with those two that I assumed were like hand butlers or something like that for her? Because like, one of them spoke up out of nowhere saying like, "Why are you sending us into this labyrinth in the first place?" Like, there was this girl who hasn't said anything. In fact, I didn't even know she existed until like, this episode. Well, and last episode, there was like, a girl in a white dress like that hasn't spoken a word. I think she has brown hair or something like that. She's always accompanied by two guys.
let
I
me
don't
see if I can find it.
I don't know if like I don't know if she has a name yet, but I just noticed that this is a girl that's been hanging around for a bit that we haven't. She hasn't
The
said
bronze
nothing.
hair one with the one that kind of looks like an angel a little bit, like with the gold colored hair. You mean kind of like bronzish gold hair? Is that who you're talking about?
I don't know. I just know that she's usually accompanied by two guys that look older than her. That I kind of believe are like her help or something like that.
Oh, I see who you mean. I don't know. You think those are like some sort of retainer of hers? Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's something up about her. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I just had the feeling that those two were like just sent to be make sure that she's safe or something like that. And like to me, I guess she's kind of giving off rich girl vibes, but I don't really know. It could be completely wrong, but like so far, only one of them has spoken up. The other one hasn't, and the girl has stayed silent the entire time. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like we've seen her. She popped up last episode as one of the people 18 that survived. Um, and then she's here as now one of the 17 that are still around. Uh, it's just like, okay, I don't know. And we didn't see her in the labyrinth at all, so I either can assume that she got ejected out, but I don't think so, or two, she's already made it to the bottom. Because like they
You think
haven't.
by the beginning of this she's already at the bottom?
Yeah, like this is my two decisions. Like either she got ejected or she's at the bottom or already, or like very
I
close to the
think
bottom.
I think only one person has been rejected so far. I think we're going to see the eliminations as they happen because there's not a lot of eliminations to be made because it's not that big of a group.
But I don't know. I don't think we're gonna see her again. At least not until the third tournament. I mean the third part of the test. because she's not. They haven't really been putting any real spotlight on her yet. Yet she's getting through.
If we don't see her, it's either because she doesn't matter or it's because she matters a lot. Yeah.
I feel like she did. I mean, this is just maybe my own bias showing through. I don't know. Like if she didn't matter, I think they would eliminate her first. Like if she just flat out didn't matter, because like I mean, her getting eliminated an hour later wouldn't matter at all if she wasn't all that important.
I guess that's kind of my point. Like if she matters, she's going to matter a lot. You know, I don't know. Like they could be saving her for like a later episode, like reveal of some sort. But otherwise, I think she doesn't matter.
I'm mostly just bringing her up because like I didn't see her when they did the first test, and then when the first test ended, there she was, and to me she kind of stuck out. It was like what, like weird. Why is she like why did I notice that she's here now? That's really weird. And then I see her again as she's walking through the town last episode when they were on their break. She was walking through the town. And you see her walking through the town. I think you see her walk by Stark at some point, and she doesn't say anything. In fact, we don't like. I don't even think they interact with her. Like she just kind of walks by, almost like she's like a background character. And then she's here again. And again, like I will have to agree that I think she's a lot more important. And it's like my thing is like I wonder what you think about her in general, because like she's done nothing yet she's been in almost every scene so far. It seems very odd choice for a character that doesn't mean anything to just be placed everywhere like that. I mean, like background characters don't get that much screen time. She's been in
Do
multiple
you think
scenes
that
now.
is it fair to say that it might just be kind of a like in the Tournament of Power? Remember that robot universe? They didn't really do very much with it for a long time, and then it became a really big deal. It's like the last big universe to die before the real universes died.
I mean, I think that's ultimately where I'm going. It's like I don't know. It just her presence is like kind of just like I've noticed her at first, and then she kept on showing up. It was like, what is going on? Like, why are they? And it's not like they're spending a lot of time on her. It's that she's just showing up in random scenes that you wouldn't think that she'd be there.
Yeah,
It's almost like it's not they're spending the right amount of time on her, to the point where I'm just getting curiouser and curiouser about her now because she said nothing. Like I don't even know what she sounds like. I don't even know her name. And I know you've been really good at collecting names so far. I'm actually kind of surprised. You're better at it than me this particular show.
I'm doing it because I'm bad at it. That's why I'm doing it. Because if I don't do it, I will fail.
You're better than I am. Like I'm leaning on you for character names. Um, but so far I don't think you collected her name. And it almost seems like you didn't
No, I
notice.
haven't.
It almost seems like you didn't notice she was there until I brought her up.
She's not on my radar at all.
It just seems kind of weird. Like she stuck out for me. I don't know why she stuck out for me, but she stuck out for me even though she wasn't the most like outrageously designed character. But that's probably why she stuck out. She seemed the most the most normal, yet she's still hanging around. And I'm like, huh. I'm starting to like it, like she's not worrying me. It's more of like, what is going on? It's like so far we've seen a lot of mages. Like Warbles is caught me off guard. Ubel has caught me off guard. I forgot to bring up Ubel at some point. Well, I mean she fights a version. Well, no, I don't think we see Ubel in her in land this episode, do we? I don't think we've seen Ubel. Okay, maybe just show Ubel next episode. Um, yeah, her is just weird. Like I hope that like whatever I hope that whatever they're doing for her is set up and just saying like we're just seeing her now and maybe we'll get a glimpse of her using magic at some point. I'm guessing. To me, it's like she seems important enough that she's got two guys that seem way older than her, constantly protecting her. That's what it looks like. They're constantly protecting her. So I don't know. She could just be a princess that wants the S rank for some reason, and we don't know why yet.
Yeah, I just think it's from a writing standpoint, it just makes so much sense to have a few people that you saved to explore later.
I mean, I hope they explore her later. I'm not gonna count on it. But like, it just seems like she's been everywhere, and it's kind of been bugging me. Like, she hasn't said anything. She hasn't interacted with anybody. Like, it doesn't seem like Frieren has caught notice of her, or she has. She hasn't said anything yet.
Mhm.
Like, she's pretty much been everywhere where the main characters have been, and it's just like, huh, they're doing this on purpose. Just like, okay, that's what I had to say. That is like, that character is interesting. I just want to see what they're gonna do with her, if they do anything with her.
All right, let me jump around for a second. One thing I really wish I'd written down, and I can't remember. I do, I do like that even in this situation, Frieren has just turned this into another day for her. Um, and you know where she relives her adventures and has her flashbacks and everything. There's kind of a funny moment where Richter gives the redheaded mage from the two girls, which was the one with the redhead. Do you remember what her name is? I can look it up. But
Tana.
anyway, he gives the two of them as they walk by. He's like standing outside, so he gives them some really mean side eye, which I thought was kind of funny. I thought it was interesting that the evaluator was more interested in presence power than Terrence. Go ahead. I give you a few things.
No, I don't think I had anything. I mean, like this, like I just, like, I think what it for me, it was more funny when she finally got a chance to know Frieren and the whole mimic thing, and I was just like, I love that. I guess I wouldn't say this. I didn't say this. I love the main reason why Frieren gets caught in mimics isn't really because she's dumb. She's just too curious, and she doesn't buy the 99% uh uh over one fraction of like the spell being correct. Like, she believes there's always that 1% chance that there's always gonna be, it's not gonna be a mimic, it's gonna be some rare treasure, and that's half the reason why she gets herself caught in the mimics in the first place.
I would love to see a flashback reveal at some point where we find out why she feels so motivated and that she finds like basically a piece of literal trash and is like inside a mimic and thinks it's so worth it, and now that's why she like lives in every single mimic. I need that in my life.
You need what again? Sorry, you kind of got muffled there.
I want to see a reveal later in the series where she like flashes back to the one time that she finds an absolute quarter piece of garbage trash inside one of the mimics after she defeats it, and that is her rationale for why she now checks every single mimic and puts herself through all that trouble.
I mean, well, that would be funny and just be absolute gold for my mind banks. I prefer just the whole idea she doesn't trust the spell as just a rationale behind why she does it. But I mean, if that is really the reasoning behind it, and it's not the spell that you don't trust, is that she got cheated out of a good piece of like treasure, and now she's got to check every mimic because she's just that motivated now. Like,
right?
That would be funny, but I honestly like the.
But
like,
I don't want it to be treasure. I want it to be garbage that she decided is treasure, where everybody else tries to
that's what I was
explain
saying.
to her.
Like,
Actually,
she feels that she got cheated, and like, cause like, like that she found garbage one time, and now she's thinking that that 1% can also be treasure.
mm-hmm.
Cause like that's what she said. That's why she checks. She doesn't believe the spell like half the time. Is like she thinks that there might be something in there, and it's even funnier to me. I feel like the mimics are in on this because like I feel like a mimic would immediately grab you if you touch the top of the top of the thing, not like a few minutes after. It almost like the mimics are in on this. Like the mimics got their own like telepathic tree going on. Like, hey, there's this elf that just will do anything. She'll just like check in your mouth and everything like that. You can get a free meal that way. Really? Well, I'll have to keep an eye out for it. And then I was like, oh god, it's the freaking elf. I'm gonna get a meal today.
Yeah.
There's a telepathic tree going on. But it's just funny that half the reason she gets caught isn't because she's dumb, it's just that she's curious. Which I guess can still be stupidity,
Mhm.
but it's just funny. Half the time I thought she was just being dumb, but no, it's just curiosity killed the cat. I guess what? I guess is the best way to put it.
The thing is, like, she doesn't seem to be in any danger. Like, she seems mildly inconvenienced.
I don't know if she's amused because every time she said that she's blown up one of those things on the inside, her hair's just gotten tangled up. I don't know if she's amused.
I feel like mimics aren't even dangerous after seeing that scene.
Not in the games I played. Like they're sometimes the strongest thing you fight.
Right, but I'm talking about in this show. I feel like the mimic, she wasn't in danger. It was just inconvenienced.
I guess. I mean, it was just really freaking weird. I like how Zenza's just like, I might have followed the wrong people. It's like when she saw that, I was like,
But when she realizes that they're acting like this because they're in absolutely no danger whatsoever, then she's like, actually, no, I'm fine. Also, it's very interesting how people seem to be able to pick those two. Like the really experienced people can look at those two and say those are the two best people in the room, despite their ability to hide their mana and everything else, or maybe because of their ability to hide their mana.
no, I think it's just like if I think they said this somewhere before, like really, like if you're a really capable mage, you can sense how powerful a mage is through the suppression. I think like funny what they hinted at because some of these folk, like you said before, they can just sense Frieren's mana. I mean, they were like the since they sensed it like when she was supposedly like suppressing it like when she first showed up at the exam because they were keeping an eye on her when she showed up, even though they didn't know she was Frieren. But I think after the fact they realized, oh, that explains everything.
I know that they know that, but like she just seemed like she picked her out and was like, you're the one to watch. You're the one that's going to make it to the end if anyone does.
I mean, really, when she said all that, I thought she was talking about Frieren, but no, she was talking about Fern. Same thing.
And again, I think that like the pretense here is that Farron didn't join the big group with Denkin and everybody else, not because she was arrogant or anything like that. I think she's just like, I don't need that. They're gonna not want me to go around looking for treasure and stuff like that. I don't want to do that. I'm gonna kind of like more time for me. You know what I mean? To like go around and explore and do the things that they wouldn't want me to do.
I know you're doing this, and you're doing it accidentally, but you said Fern instead of Frieren.
I'm doing it accidentally. I'm going to continue to do it, but thank you for continuing to correct me.
I just want to make sure I don't get confused because I hear that I'm like, that's not how Fern acts. Was actually what's going on in my brain as you said it. I don't know why my brain does it because I know you're accidentally doing it, but it's like my brain literally decides to tell me is like, that's not how Fern. Sometimes I drop it, sometimes I don't drop it, but yeah.
Let me keep looking here. She spent a really long time in that mimic.
Well, like Fern didn't know how to get her out, and then Frieren tells her at the last minute, but
We should take a moment to appreciate just how. Also, the girl when she got trapped in the spike room, she really didn't have anything she could try to save her life. She just sat there and she was going to die.
I think she was just panicked. This is how you act when you're panicked. You don't do anything because you're too afraid. That's the vibe I got from her. She was just too young. That's why I say like, I think when the image of her when she was like looking up at that tall woman in one of those, I don't know what the context was, but it seemed like a child needing help or something like that. And at first I thought, and this was just my thought process, like I'm guessing these two are paired up and they entered the exam at the same time. They might know each other, only for that to get completely shot down like immediately as she got separated. Because that girl with the blonde hair did absolutely nothing to help. So like they don't know each other at all. So I just think she was just really young. She might have been like 12. She might have been the best mage in her village, and maybe she thought she could get she could pass the exam. Is my best bet for her. You won't really know because we'll probably not see her again. I mean, I would like to see her again just to get the story, but uh,
I
like
just I was like, why didn't you just like, at the very least, when you realize that you might die either way, why wouldn't you just use all your mana to try to blast your way out? You know what I mean?
but when you're scared, you're not thinking.
And she was thinking enough when they told her to use the bottle. She knew to do that. She wasn't like disabled.
You really think you need a thought process to get just to grab a bottle, a triangle bottle from your hip to throw it?
Seems about as hard as occurring to you that you should blast the wall with your magic.
I don't know. I mean, granted, yeah, I would have liked to have seen her try, but I just think she was just too afraid. I think she might have been the youngest of everybody there, and I think Dingen probably realized that, which is probably why he's told her to just yeet the bottle and get out of here.
Yeah. Um, let's see.
Yes, I say yeet the bottle. Everybody listen to this podcast.
That's also the only time that anybody I felt was seriously in danger of their life. I liked how Denkin's team worked as a group. Like, they were really cool to watch them collaborating together. Like, there was some really good action scenes. Probably the best action scenes in the entire series. And that's in my opinion.
I disagree, but that's just my own taste.
Example. What's a better action scene?
I think it's just my pure taste. It's not. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't agree with it on my own personal. I think for me,
That's
like
okay. But I want to hear. I want to hear which ones you like more.
I prefer the first episode's scene of Fern shooting off a giant energy beam. I actually enjoy seeing Stark fight because of how fast he is. I enjoy the double team fight with Stark and Fern against those demons a lot more. I'm not saying that Dingen's fight isn't good. It's just like I don't know. For me, it's like it was cool to watch. Not gonna lie, I think it's because he's not my favorite character out of all of them. So it's like while I enjoy watching him fight, it's like I don't have any personal attachment to him.
Whereas I was really captivated by the mechanics of the moment, how things work, and learning about the universe and getting lost in what was going on a little bit.
I get lost in all that too, but it's like the scenes are, for me, it's like not what for me. It's like what captivates me is going to captivate you, and vice versa.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just talking. Let's see.
Also, clarify, like I enjoy seeing Dingen fight. It's just like for right now, like I'm waiting for that one fight. I'm waiting for that one fight with a special sauce. Like that's what I'm waiting for. Hopefully he gets it. If he doesn't, oh well. This is a cool fighter to watch in a moment.
Where do you think Frieren keeps that big pile of garbage that she found?
In the suitcase that doesn't seem to have an end.
That's how that suitcase works, because I don't know.
I'm guessing because it's the only luggage she carries. And we see her empty it, and it's like when she's done that one time looking for that piece of jewelry that Himmel gave her, it was so much deeper in there than it should have been for a suitcase of that size.
Yeah. Just seems like a really big pile of garbage. Why do you think they told the Fern backstory a second time in this one? Because I felt like I didn't learn anything new from it.
I don't remember there being a Frieren backstory. What?
Fern. This time I really think I said Fern.
I think I thought you meant Frieren, so that was my bad. I don't think it was really telling a backstory. At least what I took from it was just it just like them hammering in on the whole idea of like why Fern is doing what she's doing. Because even Sensei says like, I sense this tremendous amount of power from you, but I sense no passion that goes along with it. Why are you here? And it's just she brings up the fact that half the reasons why she's even got magic to begin with is because she was repaying a debt. And that's when we see her, when we see that, we see the cutscene again. And it's possible too. It isn't for you. It's for somebody who, I don't know why. It happens. Sometimes people find themselves who are new to a show 20 episodes deep and they did not watch the first 19. I don't know why it happens. And those people should really stop and go back to episode 1. But it happens, you know.
It's just for the sake of them to be considerate.
It's possible. I'm just like, it's really, I call it stretching in that regard, because I feel like maybe they just like, again, it was mostly just to really hammer in the fact that like Vern, her Fern's motivations are going to be different from Frieren's, and same thing with Stark's motivations is going to be different than any of those two. I think honestly it was just like because Sensei asked, and that, you know, that's really the only reason why she's got magic in the first place. And maybe she wanted to preface, you know, her story of like seeing Frieren happy makes her happy. It's just saying that, you know, she's on this journey because of Frieren. You know, she learned how to do that spell for I forgot his name, the freaking corrupt priest. She learned to do that spell to show him that she's capable of taking care of herself whenever he passes on. You know, it all comes together. But at the same time, it could easily be one of those situations of like, it's simply because the people are aware that sometimes people find themselves in the middle of shows. Granted, that happened a lot more a long time ago when things were on TV. But, you know, I'm not gonna get into like that whole thing, because like I have a opinion on people who jump into a show in the middle of it. But, you know, whatever.
One thing I watched a few times over and over again was around 1850 or so, that door opening. I watched that a few times. I even rewound it and watched it in slow-mo because I felt like I was looking for symbols or hints or context or something like that, just something a little special in the way the light worked, but I didn't find anything. Did you happen to see anything?
I see anything where? What?
At about 1850, when the door opens and the light streams through, I was looking real hard for something there, like that would be like some sort of Easter egg or a symbol or something like that that would give away something there. I wasn't able to find it, but I was looking really hard for it.
When they first go into the labyrinth, or are you talking about when Dinkin encounters that replica of Frieren?
Trying to figure out.
I mean, because to be honest,
I remember they zoom in on this dark room with a door that's got like a circle or a wheel symbol on it, and it's all very dramatic. And then the door opens, and when it opens, the whole screen goes black. And then, even though the door was circular, when it cuts to the animation of the door lighting up, it's a pink triangular shaped light. And then like a prism almost. And then like pink light flies out from it and then disappears abruptly. And then they just sort of like forget that moment exists.
Man, it feels like you're describing a fever dream. And so I can't
why don't you just go look at the part we're talking about, 1850 or so?
I can't, because like my screen is being shown on Twitch and I'm already having issues with YouTube claiming my stuff.
Well, anyway, it was a very interesting scene, and I was very curious about like what was going on there. Because I can't even tell you what the door is. Like they don't show anyone around the door when it happens. And then when the door goes away, like, I don't think they hint to you what's going on behind the door. Yeah. They sort of like, they show Frieren's group walking, and then they show the door open, and then they go to Werbel's group. But they don't I can't tell you who the door is connected to. It just they just kind of show you that oh, by the way, a door existed.
I mean, it sounds like you just I'm at a point when Frieren and the gang are walking someplace. We'll probably see whatever was behind that door the next episode for them. I thought you made it sound like it was something at the very beginning that I somehow missed, and I'm like, oh lord, how did I? It feels like that would have been something that would have been something I would have seen.
No, it seemed like they were trying to highlight that somehow, like it was a bigger deal. But I was having trouble figuring out exactly why or who it was related to or something. But I think it's like a hint at what's to come somehow, but I couldn't tell you what.
Probably them encountering the replica of Fern. Is the only thing I can guess. I mean, it's the only thing that makes sense to me because like I know they haven't Frieren and the gang haven't encountered one yet. It's really kind of funny when you bring up the whole them dealing with like treasure hunting. It's like it seems like for some strange reason Frieren's is avoiding the right way to progress to the temple, and is doing gathering of things. I think even when they encounter the gargoyles, they killed the gargoyles before they could move. But it just seems like for some reason everybody else has encountered a replica at this point that we've seen, but Frieren and them haven't yet, and there's no real reasoning why they wouldn't have by this point, especially the replicas are moving around. The only reason I can think is because of Zense and she's not trying to get herself killed, but who knows? Like I'm still on that I think she's responsible for these replicas and how good they are. And like so far, I was like, well, the Frieren double is with Dingen right now. Like the only other person they haven't had a replica yet of is Fern. Unless she's off someplace else.
Given that she was most impressed with Fern, I wonder if Fern will be the final boss, ironically.
I don't know if final boss. I just feel like she's probably. I think when she brings up that Fern's really freaking powerful and how impressed she was, I think that was just saying like, be prepared or something like that. She was like in her own really non interfering way of like just saying that she realizes how strong she is. Maybe she was giving her a hint at what's really going on here. Because again, it's like they haven't encountered one and they've gone pretty deep in there. I mean, they like as far as I can tell, they explored a lot based on all that garbage they found. Like, there's no way she got all that from just one room. So it's like they've been pretty far on. It seems really weird that they haven't encountered a threat yet beyond the gargoyles, and the gargoyles weren't really much of a threat.
The gargoyles are a really fun fight, though. I was like so into like watching that.
Well, I mean, it was an interesting fight for Dingen, but it was definitely not interesting for Frieren and the gang because they just shot him down before they got just to move.
Let's see if I got anything else. We're a little over time, but I think I'm really close to the end. Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
That's all right.
You say that, I'm still gonna feel bad.
It's all right. They dissolve like demons, which is interesting.
I got no comment. I guess there could be a demon in there, but I don't know. It just seems really freaking. I feel like a demon won't want to like make their presence known, not hide like a coward. Whatever.
Yeah, demon would want to present their a demon would want to show their strength right off the bat, as we've learned about demon culture. Unless a demon is influencing this. Remember, I'm like kind of a conspiracy theorist about this whole thing that like this whole thing is like orchestrated by demons that are trying to like undermine the most powerful users alive by putting them in a situation where they're going to die. If that's part of it, and that elf is part of it, or the leader of it even, then a lot of this context changes just a little bit because maybe the demons are teaching them something or creating something for them to help them kill everybody. Are you still there?
I'm still here. Again, no comment.
That's it for my notes because then I'm at the end of the episode. I had to make mental notes today, so but I kind of knew what I had to talk about. I also tried to be a little more engaged in when you were talking.
No problem. I mean, I'm still, and I think the replicas are freaking Sensei is doing. Like, I find it difficult that to be a demon down here. Again, they like to, like, I mean, even if they were making replicas, they would still show their self, just so that people know that they're the ones doing it. It just seems kind of like these guys showed up out of nowhere, and a demon would need to know. At least I think that's how replica magic works. It's possible maybe replica magic doesn't work that way. I feel like you need to know who you're replicating before you do it. But I guess we'll find that out next episode. Whoever is doing what, down there.
Sit down there. That sounded dirty.
Only a person with dirty mind would think that. But okay, with that, we're going to end it here. We're almost 10 minutes over. Yeah, almost 10 minutes over. Good night, everybody. See you Wednesday, I think, for Banjo-Kazooie by myself. And then, barring anything unfortunate happening, maybe Thursday for Shadow of the Colossus. Good night.